Thanks for having me.
Hey, I'm Scotty T from Your Comedy Minute. I have a comedian, writer, podcaster, the woman, the legend, Joplin Jayne is with me. Joplin Jayne, how are you?
Hi, Scott. I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Wonderful.
I'm
Thanks
excited.
for being here.
My
Kansas,
pleasure.
Kansas City, Missouri.
That's where I live. Yes.
Is that right? It is the best place on earth.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I think the same thing as you do. That's your opinion, right?
Now, do you want to tell the people why I said that?
Sure. Yeah, I have a Man on the Street podcast called Best Place on Earth, and
Yeah.
it's really fun.
And hang on.
Okay.
I've watched there. I think there are two, right?
There's two. Yes.
I've watched them both.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Scott. Did you
Yeah.
like them?
I can't wait to talk about the one.
So you liked one of them. That's
No,
good.
they're both great. The one was about singing your favorite song, the
Uh-huh.
song that's
Yes.
in your head. Just so
Mhm.
you know, I did. I
You
really
did
did.
good. Thank you. Yeah, it's a Man on the
Because
Street
I
podcast.
worked in the music business and I can sing all kinds of songs. Like I Want You to Want Me by Cheap Trick, maybe.
Yeah.
Or just name a song. I can do batches
I
of
want you to want me.
it. Keep going.
I need you to need me. Don't
I
ask me
love you to
you to
love
love
me.
me.
I'm sorry.
I love it. No. I love that sort of like dirtbag era of like those
Dirtbag
guys.
hero. Those guys are friends of mine.
Are they
Those
really? No,
guys are friends. Go to my Facebook page. You'll see a picture with all of them.
I meant dirtbag very affectionately. I mean it. They
Cheap
laid the
Trick
foundation.
dirtbags.
It's
Robin
very
and Rick
affectionate.
and Robin and Tom are right now. Bunny Carlos right now is flipping a stick at you.
I meant dirtbag in the sense of like
Yeah. No,
speed,
don't even try it, Joplin D. Don't even try it.
God, whatever.
Well, but do you want to tell the people about the second one? Because the second one, I just couldn't believe what you did. That's amazing.
It was a
Go
lot of
ahead.
okay. It's called the second episode that we had was called One Red Pencil.
One
And
red pencil. Now tell the people. Tell them.
I'm telling Scott. Okay, so
Come
everyone
on now. God,
uh,
Jesus, there. Get to the point there.
okay, so the
No,
premise
I'm
of the
kidding. I'm
podcast
playing with you. I'm
is
playing with you. Go ahead.
okay, good. The premise of the podcast is I run around the streets with like a theme for the night and I ask people questions based off of the theme. So the one he mentioned was, what song do you know every lyric to? And then I just roam the streets of Kansas City at night and I ask people to answer my question. The second podcast was called One Red Pencil. And the premise of the podcast was that I was inspired by a Canadian blogger who he started out with one red paperclip and he traded it a bunch of times over the course of a year and he ended up with a house.
Right.
And so what I did, I had one red pencil and I ran around the streets all night and I was like, well, let's see what I can end up with by the end of the night. And I traded it a bunch of times. It was insane.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Scott, I was watching that as I was editing it. I was like, I'm fucking insane.
At one point, you got a coupon for a meal somewhere.
That's where it
That was
started.
an upgrade.
That was
But
such an
no, I mean, I'm impressed because you went from one red pencil.
yeah.
I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give it
Right.
away. I think the people should go and watch
It's a
to
fun
see how you
episode.
ended up.
It's pretty fun. I ended up with something really nice, and I mean, from what I started off with,
Yeah, with just a red pencil. But you know
yeah,
what I found interesting about it, or for me, is that you must have some great friends or people that with a camera and the lights and everything to follow you around
yeah. I have a
in the best place on earth, Kansas City, Missouri.
that makes it easy. I have to tell you, I used to do this. I used to live in New York City, and I used to do these on the street, and you never knew what the
Oh,
hell you were going to encounter. But here
yeah.
in Kansas City, everyone is so nice. It's really the best place on earth. People will always play along. I rarely encounter
I,
anybody with just a
I
bad.
like the guy from Canada. He
Yeah,
gave you a hard time. The guy gave you a hard time,
it's
but he
fun.
then was saying how nice people are in there. But he was giving you a hard time about the best place in best place.
Yeah, he's like, I don't believe you. And I was like, oh, go fuck yourself. And I found a broken
Well,
Canadian, he was not a nice Canadian. He was
where
broken.
did that come from?
What?
Go fuck yourself. I didn't see that. I missed that.
maybe I cut it out. I don't remember.
Yeah, you certainly did. I didn't see that.
Everything is very good natured, even the
Yeah,
ribbing.
that's why I can't, because I said to myself, self, you're not going to use the F word.
Oh my
And there
gosh.
you go. There you go.
I
Oh,
dropped
it's no problem. I'm only kidding.
Okay, good.
You obviously
God,
you've
don't
never
throw
watched
it at
it.
me like that.
You've
Do you see
never
my
watched
face?
any of my stuff.
Of course, but like you
You've
censored
never watched
yourself.
any of my stuff.
That's a lie. I watched your like most recent one. I actually have it pulled up right here. I was watching it.
Go ahead, do the joke I just did. Do you know
Which
the joke I just? Do you want to know the joke I just did? Because I
which one?
really like it, and it's going to do terrible on YouTube. You have, let's not get on me. YouTube, 1,070 subscribers, 112 videos, 54,292 views. Yeah, you're an amazing young lady. You want me to do the joke real quick?
Sure.
I don't know if I want to now because I put it on Reddit. I don't know if you ever done Reddit.
I haven't done it, but
And they
I
removed it. And before they removed it, someone wrote, "This reminds me of when I was in elementary school."
okay. Oh, now I want to hear it.
See, but you have to know, why did the little old lady cross the road?
Why, Scott?
She got hit by a bus. See, I just love that shit. I just love dark humor like that.
That's classic. That's one of those that like when someone sets it up, that the punchline isn't going to be anything you could ever come up with because it's going to be so out of left field and fucked up. Just like, all right, what does your diseased brain have to show me? And I love it because my brain is very similar. I love
Okay, here's one more. I'll do one more, then I'm going to shut up.
I love it.
What did the dead baby? What do you give a dead baby for his birthday?
I don't know what.
A dead puppy.
You were such a cunt. I swear to God, Scott.
You give him a little dead baby. Here's a little dead puppy for you. I don't know. I'm just saying.
You know what though? I will never get offended.
That's good. That's good. We're off to a bumpy start.
I'm
But
fine. I'm
hey,
happy.
think of this. Think of this interview as one red pencil. One red interview.
Yep. Yep. I'll trade
Well,
you
now,
my
so
time for it.
let's go back. I'm sorry. I'm a little giddy. I feel like a woodpecker in a lumberyard. Were you were you born and raised in Kansas City, Missouri? You mentioned New York. So I'm, just want to try and, for all the kids at home.
Sure. So I was actually born in Utah. I was born in Utah. My
Okay.
family is all from there. My parents moved when I was 6 to Missouri.
Okay.
And we moved all around. My dad is unfortunately not mentally well. And so we moved around a lot. And
Hey, don't hold back.
yeah, I mean, I'm a real like if anybody listens, I also have another podcast called Disgruntled, and it's real
No,
talk.
because I have it written down.
You're a professional. I know you
I might have been able to get to it, but now you're rushing me. Go
Scott,
ahead.
calm
I'm
down.
going through a rather heavy period.
Anyways, the point of that was I like real conversation. So I'll go down right to it, and I won't lie. Like, so yeah, so we
But your dad's not well, and
yes,
Utah and then Missouri and New
yes, he was
York. New
a
York
religious.
is in there.
Well, after I finished my college, I moved to New York for 8 years, and then I moved back home to Kansas City when COVID happened. So I've
Okay.
been here ever since, and I've been pretty happy.
Yeah. I'm just playing with you.
I know, Scott. I told you.
All right. I just don't want any problems. I don't want any problems.
I have a hitman out for you as we speak, Scott.
Can't
That's
you
how many
see?
problems you
Can't
have.
you see? We got a goddamn situation, you asshole. All right, look. Let's get to the disgruntled podcast,
Okay.
because I really like it. And I'm being sincere
Yeah.
now. I'll be honest and no bullshit for 2.3 seconds. I love what you're doing with those people. They come on,
You.
and how many episodes are there? You're
There's
up to
13 episodes
how
so far.
many?
13.
Okay, yeah, and I just watched some of the latest one, and the topicality is, and to have, there's three kids there and they're talking. I'm sorry, you tell them what it's about. I'm trying to describe your own podcast.
No, I love that you watch it enough that you are even able to do that. Yeah, so
Well,
it's called
I'm
this.
nice enough to know what fucking time zone I'm in.
Oh,
Oh,
see,
wait, kids.
the audience didn't have to know that, okay? You just called me out, folks. I just on live living color, I got called out for not knowing
Living
what time
color.
zone.
You just
Okay, back to the podcast, Scott. Okay, so it's called Disgruntled, Disgruntled. And
good.
I did it. Yes, I get it. I got the B or whatever.
Disgruntled.
Disgruntled.
It's a great podcast.
It's a
Honestly, go
competition of
ahead.
grievances. Yeah, a competition of grievances. So I get 2 to 3 comedians on. We have 2 rounds. The first round, and it's called Petty Rapid Fire. People just rattle off things that they hate.
This is them
They
off.
disgruntle them. I pick the winner. Then we go to the second round. It's called WTF Story Time. And people
Right.
tell a story of the funniest, worst thing that's ever happened to them. I pick the winner from that. And whoever has the most points wins. And it's just a lot of fun. Like people, here's the thing, like we all run around this world with like scripts in our head that we play over and over of the
Yeah.
bullshit that has happened to us, so we're always ready at the tip of our tongues to be like, let me tell you what happened to me. So like
Right.
it's just like very easy for people to come up with very fun content, and it's always crazy stories. It's very
Yeah.
relatable, a lot of this stuff, especially the petty rapid fire, the stuff that bothers them. Like it's just very relatable, very fun, and I appreciate you listening to it. Thank you.
Oh, you know what? You're an amazing young lady. You know, you're a comedian, a writer, a podcaster. Um, just I'm real taken back by it. I think your presence alone, just you command when you're in, looking. For me, it's hard. I'm looking here, but yeah, you're an amazing young lady. Have you done stand-up comedy as well? I don't know whether you have or not.
I have.
Okay, yeah, I apologize for my ignorance. I earned
No.
bonus points for watching the videos, but I didn't know if you ever did stand up.
Yeah, I love stand up very much. I'm just
Okay,
starting to get back into it. So I did it in New York a lot. Um,
okay.
but I mean, just to be real with you, like I had a lot of unprocessed trauma from my childhood,
Well,
and
sure,
it was
sure.
kind of nice to come back during COVID and just to spend some time being like, wow, I really need to unpack some stuff
Yeah,
and really, learn myself. And I
yeah,
finally reached such a good place to where I can't wait to get back on stage again and just start talking about things that really matter to me. I think when I first started doing stand up, when I first moved to New York, it was just like, how do I make people laugh? You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
when you're on stage, it's just you and the audience, and you just so desperately want to make people laugh that you're just like thinking of anything. But now it's just more of like, I can't wait to get on stage and just share things that are important to me with people that become my friends. Start out with strangers and become my friends, and we just have a conversation. So I'm starting to get back into it, and it feels so right. I'm very excited.
Well, I think you'll be a success at it. I think you'll be a success at anything you want to do. I
Appreciate
mean, I- the presence you have not only in the videos, but I can only imagine what you'd be like live. And your material, I'm sure, is going to be top shelf because just the way you carry yourself on the street. And again, I don't want to give away the either one of the
that.
podcasts, but yeah, you have a. If you don't know because you don't watch my stuff, I'm
Shut
kidding
up,
you.
Scott.
I'm kidding
Scott.
you. I'm kidding you. I worked in the music business my whole life,
Hmm.
and I've worked with a lot of big, and I just kind of have a feeling when somebody's got
Yeah.
that ability to, and you will. I can just especially because you spent time in New York, Kansas City. It's like me. I came back to York, Pennsylvania
Hmm.
from being on the road, being in 30 of the 50 states, working for RCA Records, having a credit card that had no bottom. There was
Wow.
nothing I couldn't do.
That's very
And,
cool.
to come back to York, Pennsylvania, and,
Yeah.
daddy, they have sheep here.
How charming.
Men
I
have
love
sex
that.
with sheep.
Oh my God. What?
I'm not shitting you. I'm not shitting you.
I believe you. There's a fetish for everything, Scott.
Well, why you also and I just saw this morning on
Well,
Facebook.
thank you, by the way. I really appreciate it. That was
For
very
what? No, come
thank
on.
you.
No,
No,
I
I
say
mean
that. I
it.
say that to everybody. I'm kidding you again. I'm kidding you. Right now, I'm not getting enough oxygen. Um, I saw this morning, I think it was this morning, one bloodshot eye open on Facebook. You wonder why there's not more purple cars. Can you elaborate on that?
I mean, I'm always having random thoughts rolling through my head, and sometimes I will just say them out loud. But yeah, I mean, there's just not enough purple cars. Like, I mean, if you think about it, like there aren't really any. Like they're just taken up by pimps and like
Do you think
from like the
do you think
70s.
when someone's going in to drop down 30, 40, give me purple.
I would pick it though, is the thing. Like I am personally, Scott, can I tell you, I am so sick. And I feel like America is sick too. Like we are approaching an age where we're sick of this bland shit.
You
Like
want purple.
and I'm not just purple, just anything that is
See,
audacious and fun and representative of me. Like you go down the street, it's all white and silver and
yeah, yeah, I
and it
agree.
all
I agree. I
shapes.
brought it up. I think I agree with you. The whole
Oh God.
point.
People are sick of it. Like I'm sick of like in the 60s and the 50s, 60s, 70s. It was like art driving around the streets. It was beautiful. And it was accessible to everybody. Yeah, sure, beautiful cars
Yeah, there were little
now.
Volkswagen Bugs. There was all kinds of stuff around.
Volkswagen's buses, like everything just had charm and personality, and everyone had access to it. And right, it's for a long time, the past like 10, 20 years, it's just been like, yeah, some people can have nice things, the rest of us can't. And I just feel like we're approaching
Some of those
a
kids.
time where like people are sick of that. We all want nice stuff that's fun. Like, why would I want to drive to work every day for 30 years of my life in a drab, awful, disgusting car that looks just like everybody else? Like that's not how we were meant to be. And I feel like things are going to change. I think.
Well, I guess then the question, Joplin Jane, what color is your car?
Ah, it's actually burnt orange.
I
I
think
probably
before
like
this interview airs, you should send me a picture with you and your burnt orange car, and I'll post it. I'll say here's the preview of Joplin Jane coming up on your comedy minute.
I practice what I preach. Like
Yeah, no, and I agree with you. I agree. I mean, I love people that are, and you're original.
you. Yeah, you're so sweet. Thank
No,
you.
look, hey, well, there's a couple quick questions, and then I hope you're gonna do a your comedy minute for me, a special your comedy minute. But one question, and I'm a huge football guy. Are you a Kansas City Chiefs fan?
I used to be, I am no longer. I used to be obsessed with the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not,
Really?
oh yes,
Really?
I would follow the draft. Like, I
Okay.
mean, like I would know all of the
All
prospects.
right. No,
Here
okay.
are picks. Like I was obsessed, obsessed. I knew all
Okay.
the
Move
players,
me to
all the
where we're at now.
quarterbacks.
Where you at? Or
Where we are now is that what just happened. I don't know if you were following, but there was a proposal to force the public to pay for a billionaire's playground, a billionaires and millionaires playground, and just the threats. They're like, "Give us money or we'll leave," and it just was so offensive to me. It was offensive. It didn't feel like, "Hey, you play for us." It felt like more of like when I cheer for the Chiefs at this point, it feels like I'm cheering for billionaires, and it feels like I'm cheering for millionaires who will just play, like they'll just play anywhere that'll pay them. And it's just like, does
Boy,
loyalty matter to
I
you?
run this thing into the ground, didn't I? That comedy went right out the fucking window. Good
Listen,
Lord. I'm
I
sorry.
hate them. I'm
Christ, I didn't
sorry.
need all that now.
I am not a fan. I am not a fan of
Do,
rooting
do,
for
you, do you
billionaires.
still like football? Do you
Fine.
have a new team?
I also have decided that I don't like the NFL either. I feel like it is just this
I'm
whole
sorry I brought
thing.
it up. I'm
I
sorry.
love football. I love football though, Scott, and I know that no, I
Yeah.
love football.
Yeah.
I really do.
Well, I guess the college and high school.
You know what I
You
wish
don't like the NFL anymore? Hell,
I can't. I can't. I'll
I
maybe
got
watch
you.
the
Hey, I'm
Packers.
good. I'm not trying to fight. Last person I want to fight with is someone that can take a red pencil. You got power. You got special power.
I'm
You got
impressed.
power. You got power over me right now. I feel like I'm hypnotized.
Oh my.
I'm not quite sure if I can go on with this interview.
I'm sorry I went on a little bit
Yeah,
of
you
tangent,
wound
but
up turning a dime store watch.
I believe things very strongly, and I'm very honest
Okay.
about how I feel. So I don't support
But
them.
give
I
me another
support
thing.
my
Go ahead.
people.
Do one more before we get to your comedy minute. Do one more that you feel strongly about.
Something I
Purple
feel strong.
cars, Kansas City Chiefs, NFL, billionaires. Do one more. Hit me with one more thing that pisses. Wait. It's I'm tying it all together now. Disgruntled. Here's your. What pisses you off? What
My
makes you
God.
angry?
Wow, I feel so seen, Scott. No one ever asks me that question. I'm always the one
Hang
asking
on, and
others.
don't you dare say this fucking interview. This fucking interview sucks, Scotty. You suck.
Scott, I would never say that to you.
Yeah, sure. Wait till we close the recording.
Well, let me compliment you too, Scott. I can tell that you just love comedy. You're doing
I
what you
love
do
to
'cause
make
you
people
love
laugh.
comedy.
I'm real good at it.
You're one of those old school comedians that anything for a laugh.
Do you like short stories?
Yeah.
I can tell you about my sex life. I'm
The
sorry.
way
That's a
I
real
answered that
that's
so
a real old joke.
quickly.
That's a real old joke. Go ahead. I'm sorry. What
Gosh.
pisses you off? Scott's
Um,
nuts. Grab them. Wait, now
let's
stop
see.
it. For
What did
God's
I
sakes.
what did I just tweet about? I always have grudges that I'm like tweeting about. Let's see. What did I
Oh,
last tweet?
you have tweets, you have X. I'm gonna add you up. I'm on
I
Twitter.
do. I do have X.
I
Oh,
have
we
a
can talk about
thousand followers on Twitter, believe it or not.
years. Look at you. Okay, we can talk about Drew Barrymore if you want. I just last tweeted
You know
about
what? I
her.
saw that. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I
She's
can't.
dumb as a bucket of fucking rocks.
Oh my Lord. Like, why does she interview like this close to people? Like,
Oh
it's
my
so
God.
uncomfortable. What I tweeted was, I miss the days when I was blissfully unaware of Drew Barrymore's personality. Because
Yeah, yeah. I saw that.
oh,
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more.
it's so cringeworthy. Like, I just, it feels like somebody who's never been around people being like, I need to be people now. Like, this is how people act. People think this is sincere. Like, it's cringeworthy. She sits too close to customer. Like, the biggest thing too, and I'll get on another like thing I believe strongly in is I don't like how she was a scab during the writer's strike. She
Okay.
decided to just put her show up because the people were demanding Drew Barrymore's face
No,
in their
nobody's
TVs.
demanding true.
Nobody was.
I don't know if you know this, Joplin Jane. I don't mean to interrupt,
That's okay.
but she's been on the CBS morning show with Ross, the guy that used to be the intern for Jay Leno.
I remember that.
And a little bit of vomit comes in my mouth in the morning. It's not me being hungover. It's watching her at 8:30 in the morning with one bloodshot eye and Ross, the intern, and they're falling all over one another. And I mean, I'm
No,
telling you.
no, it's just so performative. And again, like I feel like people are we're fed up
Well,
with.
imagine Drew Barrymore and then add Ross, the intern. Oh my God, Drew, you're so funny. Oh, Drew.
No,
Oh my God.
no. He hates it though. Sometimes I get it. I'll catch a glimpse of him, and I see like a little just whiff of eyeball. I
You
really
know
do.
damn
I
well.
see it.
She's a bitch.
Honestly, I think that I'm pretty sure he thinks that because I remember him on Jay Leno. I was a
I
child.
remember him
Yeah,
too.
it's funny. He was very tongue in
Yeah, he
cheek,
was
very
funny.
quick. There's no way he thinks I'm sure he finds it a bit embarrassing that he has to fawn over her. That's his job, is to fawn. He's basically a walking laugh track for her, and I doubt he
All
finds
right,
a lot of
let's move
sympathy.
on because I think you got another one in you. Do you have it? Look at your tweet and see if you got one more, and
You
then
want more?
we're
Okay,
gonna do your
okay.
comedy minute. I don't want to run out of time.
I mean, this could be my comedy minute. This is stuff that
No,
I
no, no. I want a special thing. I want to do a whole intro and say,
okay.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your comedy minute with Joplin Jane. Something along those lines, you know?
Okay, you're a professional. I love
I'm
it.
not. Oh shit, no, I have no clue what
I
I'm
think
doing.
you are. Okay, last one. I really
All right.
believe this strongly as well. And you know what? The people seem to also agree with it. I think that I hate the tweet that I had was I miss when Taco Bell buildings looked like they sold tacos and not subprime loans. Good God.
You,
No one
you are
asked for this, and yet it's everywhere. It's an epidemic of these buildings that look like when you go through the drive-through, you're actually driving through a bank and they're going to give you a free sucker. That's what it looks like. That's what
you
it feels like, and I hate it.
you took my thoughts and crystallized them because, honest to God, you are not shitting. There was a Taco Bell about 5-10 minutes from my house, and it
Mhm.
actually looked. There was like colors there, pink and and it looked like you were actually going to a Mexican place.
Yeah.
Now they
Mhm.
remodeled it, and I went over the other, and you're right, it looks like a damn bank.
It does.
It looks like a bank or some kind. Hell, dude, I don't know that I want tacos from Apple Joy.
Exactly. Exactly. And honestly, like, again, I just feel like society, we are sick of things being
Yeah,
done
you're
to
right,
us that
man.
we didn't ask for. None of us asked for this, and yet it's
Purple
being done to
cars, Taco Bell, Kansas City Chiefs, NFL football. Disgruntled podcast, kids. And my favorite, the best place on earth, Kansas City, Missouri podcast.
Thank you.
Oh my God, you're on Facebook. I know you have Instagram. I added you up on there. Your
Thank
YouTube channel. I'm going to continue to support that. You are fantastic. My God,
you.
I would say I love you, but I'm afraid.
I love you, Scott.
Whoa, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa. Wait a minute, officer. Don't put the
Scott
handcuffs.
Townsend.
Don't put the handcuffs on me. Put them on her, and I'll share her with you. All right, look, let's go. It's time.
Okay,
Your
so
comedy minute with Joplin Jayne. Joplin Jayne, the craziest thing whatever you want to do. It's your comedy minute.
okay, well, probably the story that I love. It's I had a crazy childhood. I really did,
Right?
and we were always driving in our van. I have 7 siblings, and
Okay. Wow. Okay.
yeah, a lot of siblings, and that's a whole nother thing. I had an insane upbringing.
If it's okay, we'll come back and we'll have round two and we'll
Okay.
catch up. But this for now, this is going to be your comedy minute. Seven
Got it.
siblings in a van.
In a van, and we were driving cross country, and in a van with 10 people total, by the way. So 8 kids, 2 parents, and a dog, and we were driving wherever we were, and
Right.
my brother had to go to the bathroom. So and my brother is disabled, and he does things that he doesn't know what he's doing, and so he went to the bathroom inside an old apple juice bottle, and
Oh no.
yeah, so he put it just down, and there was enough apple juice to where it didn't completely smell. I think he was also very hydrated because his urine was like crystal clear, so it really fermented nicely with the remaining apple juice in it. I feel like you know where this story is
Yeah,
going.
yeah,
Everyone
yeah,
watching,
yeah,
listening knows
yeah.
where
I'm
the
getting
story
this
is
one. Keep
going.
going. Keep going. I'm loving every minute of it.
And
Go on.
so my other brother,
Yeah.
got parched, whatever, picked it up. He drank like the whole thing. And
The whole thing.
yes, he did. And then he gave like there was a tiny remaining left, and he gave it to my dad who was driving. And they ended up realizing what it was at the same time. And they were like, and like just screaming, I drank. And like the car just stopped screechingly to a halt. And I don't know. I mean, I called my brother like, piss breath for a long time after that. And it's just one of those things that it's just what becomes one of those like go-to like family lores that just,
Yeah.
grows
Yeah.
and grows with time.
Joplin Jayne, I got to tell you, a lot of people get hung up on the whole your comedy minute thing. And yet someone on, I think Saturday said, I love the concept of what you're, and it doesn't, I think people get hung up. It has to be a minute or this, that, just anything that makes you laugh.
Yeah.
And when you see me hanging my head like that, I see it coming. I know it's coming.
I know.
And I just love it. I just love, and I love real stories like that. People, for anyone that watches this and wants to come on, I love real stories. One of my favorites, and we're going to run out of time, but kind of like you, is my brother and my other brother, and we went fishing or something. And we had waders on. Do you know what waders are?
Mhm.
They're like rubber pants that come up so you don't
Oh,
get wet.
okay. Yes.
And
Oh,
so my brother's stuck on the back of the truck, and he's sitting there with these waders on, and he tells me, "Help me pull them." And I went to pull him, and he he flew out off the back of the truck into the mud. And he was so effing mad at me, so fucking mad. And he started throwing mud at me. And my other brother's sitting there, "You two assholes." I mean, it's in one of those, it'll probably never, they would never like the drinking the piss, but it's just for me, that's one of those family
Yes,
moments that was,
God, yes. Can I say something that
yes,
like
ma'am.
what those stories that we just shared right there, like those
Yeah.
aren't like finessed, prepared bits. We haven't finessed those and prepared them for the stage. It's just something that was like in
Yeah.
our hearts, like forever. You know what I mean? And like to
My
me,
brother says to this day he'll never forget my brother flying off the back of the truck and landed in the mud. And
yes.
and oh, his waders came halfway down, so the mud was in his ass. Yeah, that was great. It was great stuff.
But Scott, this is what keeps like people alive is
Yeah,
stories like
you're
this
right.
that
You're
we
right.
exchange and that we carry with us, like just little anecdotes that just keep it like, keep our spirits sparked so we can go through the drudgery of life, the difficulties and the trials. And that's what comedy is. Like, I think as comedians, people can get caught up like, oh God, I'm owning the crowd and like blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, comedy is a
It's just
gift.
funny. Funny's funny.
Funny is funny. Comedy is a gift that keeps us alive, and it belongs to every
Yeah.
person, and every
Well,
person has it
I'm
within.
going to say this. We got to stop the recording here shortly. I want to talk to you for a minute or two off the air.
Sure.
But and I tell this to a lot of people because I've been blessed to meet a lot of comedians and stuff in my life. Robin Williams, God rest his soul, and I've always held on to this. Robin Williams used to say, "Laughter is the enema of the soul." And what you just said there, that's what it is.
That's so
For
true.
me personally, for me personally, when I laugh and you make me laugh, my God, you had me laughing hard.
Thank
I think,
you.
and you're right, it does. There's a cleansing to it where you laugh. And I think there's some kind of, I'm not very smart, but endorphins or something that's released when you start laughing and.
Absolutely. I think it's a tool, like, we all have, like, we have to breathe, we need oxygen, so we have
Yeah,
lungs to get us lung. Laughter is just another physical tool that we
right.
have that keeps us alive, I think.
Well, look, do me a favor. I'm going to ask you to promise you'll come back and we'll do this again.
I'd
And
love
we'll
to.
hear, we'll hear, I think there was a part we need to get back over.
I am down anytime, Scott. You know I like you. I
I,
love
I,
supporting
I
other.
I like you too.
I
Let me
love you,
stop.
Scott.
Oh my God, Jesus, good, good. I love you too. Let me stop the
Oh.
recording. Hold on a second. Thank you for being here. I mean it.
Of course. My
Okay.
pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.